back to the Marta B pencil case build number 6. This is part B of part 2. If you want to watch the entire version, you can download it for free if you're on one of my patrons from Patreon. If you like, check it out there. There is an easier way of doing that, because sometimes, depending on the veneer you're using, your experience level, and the speed at which the glue goes off, you can run into a few problems. So here's a much easier way. The easier way, I'm going to use hoop pine. And really it doesn't matter what timber you use for this, it'll work out absolutely fine because you're actually going long grain. So whereas before we were trying to bend the long grain here this way, where there's a lot of resistance, we're actually bending it this way. So in order for us to do that, we have to cut this into strips. Don't be fooled by thinking, oh, it's 3/4 of an inch wide, I'll cut 3 to 3/4 inch strips and I'll save some money. No, you won't, because a lot of times, in fact, here's a prime example. When I bend this, can you see that's not bending straight like a piece of paper, because the grain has got its own direction it wants to go. Again, I would cut these oversized. I'd cut this maybe 1.5 inches, or what, 30 mil, 35 mil. So I'll just grab a ruler, clean off this edge down here that looks a bit ratty. And again, when you're working veneers, don't try and cut it all in one go. Just gently stroke it and eventually it will cut through. There you go, you've got a nice crisp edge there. Find the right side and the wrong side. That side folds fine. That side there's a bit of resistance. So this is going to be your gluing down side. You can see how much easier that bends. You don't want to cut these ones at an angle because the grain's running up and down. So just cut through and just lay them down. And the same on the other side. And there you have it. It's a lot easier this way. But you don't get the same effect. I've said it before and I'll say it again, gee, I love live TV. Do you know why? Because when I stuff up, you get to see it. But this time, you didn't. Here are the two pieces that we inlaid on the inside and left to dry. Now you might look at these and say there are different two pieces, and you would be correct. The reason is, here are the ones that I did before, and I actually went through and showed you how I got it to this stage. And then when it came to editing, I realised I didn't have the cameras turned on. So this camera over here was turned on, so you get to see what I did in the vise, but the camera I'm speaking to right now and the one below that weren't. So what I'm going to try and do is marry these two bits together so you get a sense of what we wanted to achieve. With these, I cut these flush on the sides, and I did that by doing it this way. Look at the grain direction the veneer is running. And just pare it down like that. Don't try and take it all in one huge chunk. Work your way down gradually. Till you're almost there. And then very lightly from the inside out, sand it flat. Better yet, if you've made one of these boards up, pop it on the board and just give it a good running over. And if you look there, we're nice and flat all the way around. Well, I hope that worked out all right, and now we're back on top of the game. Do the same to the other side, and then we can start veneering it all up. All right, now we're nearly up to speed again. Now, in here, sometimes you're going to get little voids, like that one there, a little one there, one there, one there. That's where the veneer hasn't taken to the glue for whatever reason, because it was wet or because it shrunk or it moved or whatever. But don't stress over it. A couple of ways you can get over it. You can either fill that void with putty on either side. You can put a dab of glue in there, whether it's PVA or whatever glue you're using, super glue even. Or what I do is when I glue up to lay this veneer on, which I'm going to do now, I actually make sure extra glue goes down into those little voids, because this top cover is going to cover it. And this is the time you've got to work out how you want the box to open. Do you want it to open that way or that way? Because whatever way you want, that's the face cover you put on. In this case, I want it opening this way, which is clockwise. So I'm going to put a face veneer over that, like that. And this one doesn't matter because it's the same both ends. So we just get a veneer, put that on one side. And at the same time, these thin pieces of plywood, put veneer on either side. So that's one side there, one there, one there, one there. And on the bits that are the slide and the slide lid, put one piece on one side only of each piece. So it'll be a piece of veneer on one piece and a piece of veneer on the other piece. Now I'm going to glue those up and put them in the press, and that's a good time for me to say, this is Steve, pulling the shed door down on almost a catastrophic episode, but we got through it, so thanks for your patience, and I will see you very shortly at the workbench when we will continue with this Queensland walnut one we started out with. But in the meantime, remember to keep it sharp, but more importantly, keep it safe and enjoy your woodwork and be kind to each other. Bye for now.